Hey, what's up, y'all? Happy Tuesday, right? Yeah, happy Tuesday, May 28th. Hope y'all are having a good first day back at work if you're here in the States, or hope you guys had a good Memorial Day weekend. Hope also that everybody here in the States at least realized what Memorial Day was for originally, and hopefully paid your respects to those that gave their lives in service of the country. So being a Marine, that's a big deal to me. So hopefully you guys had a good day. So a good weekend, good holiday weekend. I had a great one. It was crazy busy, really busy. I hosted HeavyCon 5 this weekend. Myself and Jess had about 110 of our closest friends there at HeavyCon, and honestly, I don't know that it could have gone a whole lot better than it did. So really, really happy with the way it went. Thank you to everybody that attended. Thank you to all the publishers that supported it. And in fact, one thing that I did want to do was give a bit of a shout out and thank you again to all the publishers. So you guys will have to bear with me a little bit. I did not set this up. So a moment. So one thing that I want to show everybody. Well, hey, that's all the schedule for the most part for this week. The only one in question is Saturdays, for the simple fact that I don't know if I have the players for it for Saturday. But in addition to that, I also wanted to give a big thank you to everybody, all the publishers and accessory maker folk that helped support HeavyCon 5 this year. So the Bezier Games, Level 99 Games, Jordan Draper Games, Renegade, Queen Games, Spielworks, Quinna Games, Tasty Minstrel, Albin Viard, Studio Games, Meeple Source, Mercury Games, Quality Beast, Cephalo Fair, Splatter. Jeroen was in attendance as well, as he almost always is, has been since the third year, one of them. Czech Games Edition, Forbidden Games, Board and Dice, R&R Games, Eagle Griffin, GMT, Meeple Realty, and two in particular I wanted to give a real special shout out to, Capstone Games and North Star Games in particular. They both sent a pallet's worth of giveaways for us. Obviously, I have a special relationship with Clay over at Capstone Games, but North Star Games was a surprise. They sent every attendee a copy of Warsaw. And so we had 337 giveaways to give to our 110 attendees. So thank you to all the publishers that chose to support it. They get nothing out of it other than that and social media thank yous. So that's it. That's all everybody was promised. That's what they get. And people were thrilled and companies were thrilled to support it. So I really wanted to say thank you to all of them for that. Part of the swag here, HeavyCon mugs, HeavyCon 5 mugs. A lot of thought went into the shape of these. These are the same shape as the Totoro mugs that Jess and I have. Smaller surface area on top exposed, so they cool off slower, but still have 16 ounces of your favorite tasty beverage, Earl Grey in this case. So I imagine folks have questions about that, but let me catch up here. So I hope everyone's having a great day. Let's see. Nick says, Edward, your website says you're a moody Gemini. Boy, am I. When is your birthday? June 8th. Oh, well, happy birthday 2 days late, Nick. So everybody wish Nick a belated happy birthday 2 days later. So happy birthday. Yeah, mine's June 8th. We may be recording that day. We'll see. I don't know because I don't take time off. Are those stroopwafels in the background? Hey, good eyes. Yes, there are. Jeroen and Bianca brought those yesterday when they came for the Food Chain Magnate playthrough. I apologize if I'm a little lethargic and not as energized as I normally am. It's been a long 6 days hosting the convention and everything, plus yesterday's live stream and stuff. I did get quite a bit of sleep last night, but I still owe Mr. Sandman quite a bit. So there's that. So I apologize. But yes, those are stroopwafels. I don't like stroopwafels for the most part. Jess does. So there's that. Most people do. They're too sweet for me. I'll stick to, oh God, what are the name of them? They're like gingerbread cookies, but they're also Dutch. And there are German versions. There's Belgian versions. They're all delicious. And I can't think of the name off the top of my head. They're not stroopwafel. Greatest cookie in the world, in my opinion. Fantastic. 74 different people keep asking me. Actually, it's just 2 of y'all that keep asking me, is there still planned playthrough for Colonial Twilight? Yes, there is. When? I'm going to say in 2019. I'm not going to promise past that, but yes, 100% yes. Patrick says, HeavyCon 5 was awesome. Glad to attend for my first time. Most likely attend going forward. It was easy for me to say. It was really well managed. Nice job, Edward. Hope to get a game in with you and Jess next time. I appreciate that. And there were a lot of folks that I actually got like 7 or 8 games in during HeavyCon, which I'm happy with. A couple of games at PAX Premier 2nd Edition, obviously. So, unfortunately, I couldn't get games in with everybody. But I had a really good time, and it seems like everybody that attended also did. So, that was good. Adam says, Edward, I wanted to say I really, really, really enjoyed the Conversations podcast. Do you have any plans for more? I do. I have a few that I have tentatively set up while I was at the gathering. And Alan Moon, Freedom and Freeze, Tom Lehman, Joe Huber. I think that's it off the top of my head. I tried to get William Attia, but he's a very, very reserved and shy guy, so probably won't happen there. But yeah, those are going to be coming. I'm trying to do one a month, give or take a little bit, but that's my goal with that. Speculos, that's it. Thank you, Mara. Speculos. They're in Dutch Yoda, yeah. God, I love Speculos. Anyway. Michael, HeavyCon was great, but it did lead to a question. How do I readjust to life when I'm not playing 2 new 18xx's per day? It's quite a drag so far. We all have crosses we must bear, Michael. It was really good seeing you again, my friend. I'm glad you were there. Sorry we didn't get a game in, but it was awesome to see. And there were a lot of 18xx's played, but there were a lot of not 18xx's played as well. This year I didn't bother making a log of all the games that were played, but it was an impressive list of heavy games. So that was really, really cool. That was good. Apparently there are 2 Terra Mystica expansions planned to be released this year. All right, I will try and do that. Janata, is that how you say it? And Adam says, hi, Edward. Congrats on a successful HeavyCon 5. Now that you've done a Boston 18xx stream, do you have any more planned for the near future? What might they be? None are officially planned, but there are going to be a number of them coming. And the reason is everybody so far has really enjoyed them that's played them. So yes, we are going to be playing more of them, which means we are going to be streaming more of them. What? As they come up, you guys will know. Keep an eye on the soft schedule. That's as far out as things are planned. Okay, so as of right now, there is only stuff planned through basically the end of May, which is in 3 days. I have been a little bit busy with HeavyCon, so I will be working on the list, the soft schedule for June and July. Probably this weekend. I'm taking tomorrow off completely for the first time in memory, and yeah, we'll go from there. So there will be more coming. Just when and what, I don't know. You watch the soft schedule is the best way I can suggest that, okay? Because let's face it, you guys know more about what's coming from us than you do any other content creator that I can think of. Like, does anybody else publish stuff a month in advance of what they're trying to do for a given month? Does anybody do that, or is it just us? I think it's just us, right? I think. So I'm trying because people have asked, but it's still, there's only so far out that we can plan, right? Hey, Eric says, hi, Edward, new patron backer on May 19th. Welcome. You're up there. Thank you, Eric. Quick question. How does one get into the Slack channel? As soon as I'm done with this today, I'll be welcoming everybody that has joined in the last, say, 10 days because HeavyCon. And I'll be inviting all of y'all personally. That's how all that works. So you'll be getting taken care of like that, Eric. So thank you. Oh, that's right. Actually, Michael, we did get Demauer in, and man, that was awesome. That was a really fun game, and that's a thinky filler that no one can get a hold of that I might try and stream as a lunchtime stream. I think that would be really cool. Demauer was a lot of fun. I hear you, JT. So is it James or JT? Now you're throwing me off. So James/JT says, Khan and Asher are now Cuba Libre veterans, so it's right for a stream. I hear you. I hear you. What would you say is the most played game at HeavyCon 5, just by what you saw walking around? Okay. There's probably a handful, and you're going to actually make me go to the geek list, so you're going to have to bear with me a little bit. So the scheduling geek list, so bear with me. Yeah. Hold on. Because some of this, so 18 Chesapeake was played quite a bit. I saw that. 1822 and various implementations of 1822, meaning 18, I think CA, 18 Max. Those were played quite a bit. 1846 was played quite a bit. I'm going kind of alphanumerically here as I go through the geek list. 1889 was played quite a bit, but out of those, I'd say probably 18 Chesapeake. I saw 2038 hit the table. Arkwright hit the table a number of times. Clash of Cultures hit. I know Cuba Libre hit. PAX Premier 2nd edition pretty much didn't leave the table once it arrived on Friday. I saw Feudum get played. Forged in Steel, Founding Fathers, which I'm still sad about. El Grande got a number of plays. That was cool to see. I was in that. Greed Inc. got 3 or 4 different plays in from folks. Harzbon 1873. I know High Frontier, I believe, made it to the table. Indonesia was on the table a lot for folks. And Infamous Traffic and John Company hit the table a number of times. The new Democker that you see up here hit the table at least twice, if not 3 times. John Company, if I didn't say that, I saw Kanban. Madeira a couple of times. PAX Emancipation, apparently Russell was a ace at teaching that. PAX Renaissance also, well done. Princes of the Renaissance, Roads and Boats, all hit the table. Rolling Stock, Smartphone Inc. a number of times. Three Kingdoms Redux, Time of Crisis. Tricerian like 3 or 4 times. Wildcatters a bunch. Yeah, there you go. But I would probably say 18 Chesapeake or 1846 were probably the games that I saw the most, but that doesn't mean that I'm not forgetting 1 or 2 here. All right. Giovanni, can I finally get some sleep now? Yeah, I'm right there with you. I feel you. Adam says, I'm looking forward to any and all future conversations then. Me too, for sure. Any plans in the near future for a Sue Line or any other Q-Rail games playthrough? Sue Line also saw a lot of playtime, and unfortunately, every time I sat down or was going to sit down for it, something came up during the con, so I didn't get a chance to play it, unfortunately. But yes, definitely, I would love for that to happen. Hey, Tony. Portos, I'll check. I'll check tomorrow for your pledge. What Porto? Send me an email. Contact@heavycardboard.com, and I'll take care of that. All right. Tony Boydell, Edward, can we book a drunken evening game of something cool-whirly shaped at Spiel? Thinking Infamous Traffic or John Company. I would much prefer PAX Premier Second Edition because I can teach that really, really easily. But I don't know about the drunken evening. You're more than welcome, and I will have a cocktail or a glass of wine. Yes. So yes, Tony, let's do that at Spiel for sure. Okay. Oh, and with Uli, that'd be a lot of fun. Yes, let's hook that up. All right. Glad you enjoyed HeavyCon, Chad. Sorry you had to leave early, unfortunately. Yes, Planet Steam this year. All right. All right, James. No. All right, JT. JT it is. I will try and remember. E asks, thoughts on Golden Fiddle? I think E is referencing a Fiddle of Gold, a 18xx inspired game. I've talked about this a couple of times, that players are demons, and we are investing in shares of souls of different artists type. So rock and roll music, classical, jazz, blues, pop, country, and I'm not sure if there was one other, I can't remember. But we are investors in their souls, and it is 18xx-esque, kind of like how City of the Big Shoulders is 18xx-esque. It definitely has similarities and very different aspects of it. I really enjoyed it. I do think that there's probably some balance that could go on between some of the pricing and some of the location spaces. Maybe that's after one play. I'm not going to make any definitive answers on that. But first impressions, really awesome theme. Awesome theme. Had a blast with it and had fun and enjoyed it. And it's a game that you may end up seeing on a stream, even if it doesn't have a publisher yet, because I think it's a game that should be out there, and I would like to help try and get that published if I can. I think Sam did, and his co-designer, and I forget the name. I apologize. Sam was at HeavyCon, and his co-designer was not. But I think that was a really wicked cool game. Wicked, appropriate demon, that type thing. But also just a really awesome theme, but cool mechanisms. So early impressions were positive. So hopefully that helps, E. Derek asks, have you played any of the other expansions to Food Chain Magnate other than the milestones you streamed yesterday? Thoughts on them? We've played Coffee and I think Kimchi. I can't remember. We played those at Essen, and I gave my thoughts about them then, that just they drastically changed the game. And I would highly recommend implementing all of the changes slowly. People aren't going to listen to that. People are going to jump in whole hog and everything in the whole 9 yards. But yeah, because they changed things so drastically. Those are the only two that we played and enjoyed them both, but they change everything that you would normally consider and think about. Adding one, even just the coffee module, would change the balance of how X, Y, and Z would play out. So I would say there is not going to say infinite, but there is a whole lot of replayability now with Food Chain Magnate, that being able to mix and match the different modules. Really, really glad that that's coming out and excited for it. The guys are legitimately excited. Jeroen sounds excited. Bianca sounds excited. And Jeroen also sounded excited when I talked to him when we were on our way to the airport yesterday to drive him there, how to get it out of his head so that they can focus on other stuff. No, there is nothing imminent. No, there is nothing. They needed to get this done and out before they could start on something else seriously. So let me hem that, because I did ask, because I knew you guys were going to ask. There's nothing right now other than this. So be aware of that. Okay, and obviously the bus reprint with Capstone and Clay. But as far as from Splatter, nope. Assuming Jeroen's telling me the truth, man's never lied to me thus far. He's told me hey, what I'm about to tell you, you can't share. But that wasn't the case here. So yeah, there's just nothing else there. There's this. So now that this is out of their heads, hopefully they can focus on new games. Because let's face it, those guys put out special stuff. All right. Yeah. 18 Chesapeake, PAX Premier, and Soo Line. Yep. I'd buy that. Vincent, how can we help you next year so you can play more games? You can't. It's my convention. I run it. And yeah, I mean, my goal is a couple of games a day. And I actually got games in on Thursday, which is awesome. Anybody out there that runs a convention, I don't care the size of that convention, understands that you are focused on running a convention. And it's not about you and what you're doing there. So there's that. Giovanni, it was awesome. Had a great time. So many new games played. So many awesome people. The herd's a special bunch. I completely agree with that, brother. It really is. I am very fortunate, and we all are very fortunate that this is an amazing community. I have never encountered a online community that is this accepting of other opinions and other ideas, even if they aren't yours and you don't agree with them, and how there can be civil discourse on both sides of topics. And I mean, let's face it, you're always going to have your 5 to 10% of those people. We have them too, whatever. But to have an online community as welcoming, as kind, as generous, as thoughtful, and as pleasant as this is, I am fortunate to be a part of this. So thank you all. This has been really awesome. And I'm not talking specifically HeavyCon. I'm talking the heavy cardboard community in general. Just it's really, really awesome. So yeah, it really is cool. Colin asked, do you think you can get a conversation with Scott Peterson? He was so nice at HeavyCon. If Scott would like to, yeah, I can reach out to him and ask. Deal, Tony. And JT, hopefully I just explained that and answered that well about anything new Splatter. Hi, Andrew. How you doing? With Brass Birmingham being crowned the Golden Elephant Award winner at HeavyCon 5, what was it that pushed it above the others which were nominated? I can't answer that. I can only answer for 1/7 of it. All the 7 people that were involved in the voting this year probably had their own opinions, and yeah, so I don't presume to speak for them, and I'm gonna be off a number of these, but I want to say it was roughly 1,130 votes between the patrons up there as well as HeavyCon attendees. That's who votes for the People's Choice Golden Elephant Award, and pretty handily, Brass Birmingham won that as well. And second place was Root on both of those, both the People's Choice as well as the actual award itself, which the award is right there that you guys can see. And I saw that unfortunately Gavin and Matt are not going to be at Essen, so not sure when I'm gonna get this to the guys. So we'll figure it out. Hopefully they can change their mind and come to Essen to pick up their award. So there's that. Tails asks, maybe a little off topic. It's not, but any comment about Twilight Imperium 4th edition? Can't speak to it, never played it, don't have a copy. I would be willing to play it and check it out, but I can't speak to it as of now. Yep, Mara says, can confirm your own convention is not for playing games. It's for stopping disasters last minute and getting more of X on early Sunday with no sleep whatsoever. Yeah, right? John says, had a great time. Can't wait for next year. Tony, been late to everything today. This is no exception. Understood. It's been a lot of travel for you guys back to Edinburgh. So glad you made it, Tony. It was great seeing you and Helen. Who was on the Golden Elephant Award panel this year? It was folks of our local game group. I'll get you an answer for that. A moment. Hold on. I'm looking. You would think I have my brain is completely fried, so I have to look everything up. So, me, Jess, Andrew K, Martin, Chris, Christopher, Ariel, and I think I'm forgetting one, and Con. No, I said Con, didn't I? Yeah. So there might be one that I'm forgetting. I apologize. So there you go. Hopefully, so there you go. Andrew, hey, Edward, I'm all right. Surprised to be blocked by you on Twitter, but aside from that, doing all right. Well, let's talk about that since you brought it up, Andrew. The reason you were blocked, well, let's go a little bit bigger picture. I'm all for constructive criticism because let's face it, I make mistakes on the show and everything all the time. Let's face it, right? We all do. We're human. But constructive criticism has to be on balance because when people are on this side of whether it's the video camera or whether it's on the podcast, the microphone, it's easy for everybody to forget that we are human beings behind the camera and behind the microphone. And when things are not on balance, it throws me off and it throws my life off balance. And because let's face it, I'm a sensitive dude. Y'all probably know that. Anybody who's been a patron or has seen and knows me in real life knows I take things to heart, whether I should or I shouldn't. And I'm getting way better about taking a lot of that to heart less because, again, there's that 5 to 10% that, everywhere, right? So when the constructive criticism stops being constructive, number one, and or is incessant and it's not balanced with anything else, it's not healthy for anybody, whether it's on the receiver or the giver. And so having pointed that out previously and things not changed, then it's up to me to make a change for my mental state and my well-being and just my general quality of life. So because those things, there are a certain number of people in particular that are either blocked, muted, banned from one thing or another, have been removed from Patreon, stuff like that. Because I have quality of life that I should be able to maintain too. And if you are constantly deriding what it is that I do, I choose not to see that and I choose not to engage with that because it's a constant stream. So that's why you're blocked. And that's why I choose not to engage in things like that. If you choose to put things more on balance, that would be awesome. Then we can have that conversation. You know how to reach me. You can email me and anybody else that feels that way, because I assure you there are probably going to be more coming. But yeah, because you know what? We're people back here and I host a show. I am not a show. So that's important to me. And learning that balance and finding and maintaining that balance is very important to me. And it should be important to everybody, whether it's you, Andrew, or anybody else watching this or hearing this. I think that's important. So I think everybody should find that balance. And in general, not everything has to be, puppy dogs and ice cream and rainbows. But not everything has to be negative either. So I hope that helps answer your question, and I hope that gives a little bit of insight to you and anybody else out there. Because life's too short, man. I assure you, when it comes to the show, I am doing the very best that I am capable of doing. So, but I mean, ask Portos. There's an email that apparently I've missed. So I need to address that. It happens. But I promise you I'm trying really damn hard. So there's that, and I hope that helps answer your question. So the ball's in your court. All right, let's see. What else? Yeah, John asked if anybody found his voice. He lost it on Wednesday. Unfortunately, John, it was not in the missing components bag. Sorry, haven't found it. Any games you heard a lot of positive things about during the con? Chris asks. 18 Chesapeake. So let's start there. I heard from a number of folks that they thought that it would be a really, really good entry point, like jumping off point for an 18XX. Like it'd be good for beginners. But I actually heard that, yes, that is a statement of fact. But also, it's a really damn good game for 18XX gamers in general. Like you don't have to be a newbie. You can derive enjoyment out of it, which hearing that is fantastic. I think that was super smart of Scott to find a game, create a game, publish that game, as it were. Because as of right now, the two that a lot of folks, or the three that a lot of folks tend to recommend are in no particular order: 1846, 1830, and 1889. Two of which are super cheap and available, 1830 and 1846. And the third, 1889, is a little bit more expensive. And I think having the Kickstarter, and I think that's partly why 18 Chesapeake did so well, is there's room for that game. And from what I've heard, it really, really good things. PAX Premier 2nd Edition. It's funny, we taught a number of folks there that, but also a lot of folks played it. Every single person that I talked to was like, wow, that's really good. I was like, yeah, I really know. So that's good. All right. So there was that. I'm trying to look around and try and think of other games. And again, on the spot, stuff like this. So anybody else that attended HeavyCon, if you want to chime in the chat, maybe jog my memory, other games that you heard a lot of positive things about. Greed Inc., even though it's an older game, a lot of folks got turned on to that and really seemed to enjoy it as well. Brian, non-board game related. Been to any concerts out there yet? I've been to one. I've been to Watsky up in, it wasn't Springfield. I forget where it was. Shoot. I forget what, but anyway, I saw Watsky. That's it. Haven't been to any of the big places here in town, like in Boston. I haven't been to the Garden. Haven't been to anything, or TD Arena, I think it's called, or whatever. Haven't been to anything else, just the Watsky. But it was a great show. But that's because it was Watsky and less about the venue. Oop, I missed a whole bunch. Mara says, confused Edward is best Edward. First time I can kind of follow him. Yeah, that's often, I assure you. No, Trucker. I've just been busy. I'm sure I'll catch up with it. Sorry about that. It was good seeing you and putting a name to the face as well, Chip. Sorry you had to leave HeavyCon early. Alexander says he's enjoyed 18 Chesapeake online, eager to receive it. Cool, good. Okay, and JT says 18 Chesapeake was the best of the 3 18XX games he played there. Okay, cool. Khan says, I'm really grateful you trust my judgment on board games. I thought you were just asking my opinion to help make your own judgment and decision on the Golden Elephant Award. No, Khan. Oh, I guess not everybody realized that they actually were officially on it because I reached out to them. And there was one or two more that I should have in hindsight that I didn't. So I apologize to my local game group or others that weren't included. There's always next year. But no, I did. And uh, their thoughts were well thought out, and I think even though not everybody has played every game, because let's face it, even I couldn't get to every game, right? And that's part of it. So it happens. So hopefully, folks are happy with our choice of Brass Birmingham, and if not, well, sorry. Oh, you didn't, Trucker? Huh. Then I must have missed it. I apologize. I'll go through my emails. Sorry about that. Yinzi was great. Chris says, all right. Oh, yeah. Chip asks, will you do a stream of Food Chain Magnate beyond just the new milestones, actually kimchi or coffee or anything like that? Yeah. When it comes out, or right ahead of time, depending on when the fellas get me a copy, yeah, we'll definitely be doing that for sure. Yeah, I agree. Mark says HeavyCon was great, trying to get life back to normal routine. I'm not going to be there until next week, I have a feeling. Okay, Chris says my favorite 3 games that I played at HeavyCon were Arkwright, Brass Birmingham, and PAX Premier 2.0. He says Arkwright, former Golden Elephant Award, Brass Birmingham, current Golden Elephant Award, and PAX Premier, maybe an early favorite for next year. All right, so there's that. So apparently we've chosen well in years past, according to Chris. So there's that. Tony giving Khan a hard time, saying Khan beat me by $3 in the escape plan playthrough. Now we'll never be asked again. There's a whole lot of folks that are in chat here that were at HeavyCon. So, like talking about 1873 Harzby, 1862, 1846, a lot of 18XX. But understand that there were far more non-18XX games played than were. Okay, I see Camille in chat. So Camille, I'm going to assume you're the same Camille. I saw your geek mail. He sent me some custom heavy cardboard related restaurants for Food Chain Magnate, and unfortunately with HeavyCon and everything else, I wasn't able to print those out and use them for the playthrough. But I will tell you this though, Camille, when we stream it again with the expansion with some of the other modules, we will include them there. So there's that. So thank you again for that. I really, really appreciate it. And yeah, you'll definitely see them on a future stream. Patrick, I'll get to that in a minute. Shaz, will PAX Premier qualify for the Golden Elephant Award given how different it is? I think so. It's drastically different enough, kind of like how Brass Birmingham is different enough from Brass Lancashire. I feel like that is just like an 18XX, right? If you know how to play 1889 and one or two others, you know how to play them all, maybe not well. And obviously there's going to be new things that you're going to, but you get the basic concept of it. So much like those games like Brass Birmingham, the PAX Premier 2.0, arguably Democker 4.0, because it's different enough having played it now. Games like that, I think they're not just reprints, they are new editions. They are drastically different. I feel like those all should qualify and do. Franny asks, just in case Archipelago playthrough happens soon, could it not be between June 20th and June 28th as I'm in the hospital? Also, hint, hint, Archipelago. Deal, and I hope everything's okay. All right, Franny? Okay? I appreciate it, Jess. She says, hey, y'all, who's a champ for doing an Ask the Elephant a day after unpacking and returning the U-Haul from HeavyCon? Didn't even let me lift one box. Hey, you hurt your back. It happens. So thanks, Jess. Have a good day. Jordan says, my top games at HeavyCon, were PAX Premier 2nd Edition, or 2.0, whatever. City of the Big Shoulders, 18 Chesapeake, also liked On Mars. Oh, that was another game that got a lot of play. I brought the prototype, and that was played quite a bit as well. Let's see. Shaz says was blown away by PAX Premier in 18 Ireland. Okay. JT says favorite game overall at HeavyCon 5 was Indonesia. I still think about that game. There were at least 3 other plays of that game, so it was well represented. All right. Giovanni says I liked 18 Chesapeake. My favorite game of the con was Arkwright. Awesome teach by Tony and Chris. Awesome. Good. Mark says his favorite was probably Cerebria, partially because of the group I played with. Hung out with them most of the weekend. Cool. Good deal. Fair enough, Franny says, yeah, I want Edward to do a teach so I can let him do the heavy lifting for teaching my group. Consider it done. That's the least I could do, Franny. Sure. Okay. Have I posted the group picture yet anywhere? I have not, and I don't know if Jess has. So it'll be in Slack. It'll be on social media. It'll be all those places. I don't think it's been done yet, so I apologize. Camille says, I figured sending them during HeavyCon was bad timing. It's okay. The thought was appreciated for the personalized restaurants. I really, really appreciate it, Camille. Thanks. He said, talking Indonesia, do you see enough time in your schedule to replay some previously played goodies or rather focus on new material? Hint, hint. We definitely can revisit some of these, and I think there's demand for it. And I think having a different group here as opposed to the group in Denver, I think would breathe it a little bit of fresh new life, that it's not going to be the same people playing it. So you're not going to see the same meta. You're not going to see the same strategies and all that stuff. Yeah, I definitely think there's merit to that. So that could definitely happen. Make sure to add it onto the request geek list. And I will, that's something that it's not going to be hard getting the local group to play that again. All right. And yes, Jess, I agree. PAX Premier 2.0 is amazeballs. Yep. Renee, have you ever played and streamed? He says record, but means stream. Ave Roma. Have played it, have not streamed it. That would be an interesting post-game discussion, interesting roundtable discussion. That's one that we certainly could do, Renee. That was SN 2 years ago, I think it was, that it came out. But yeah, I think that could be. Also, head over to BGG for the geek list. If one of the mods can link the geek list, Tony or Franny, because I know Jess is busy with stuff right now. If one of y'all can link the request geek list so folks can go over there and add those games or add their thumbs, because we do use that for some of the live streams that we schedule. Okay, cool. Yes, Randall. Randall seconds Archipelago since it's his copy. I'm sure he would like that back. So not between June 20th or June 28th, but either before that or after. Done. Okay. Shaz says it's really a treat seeing all these names in chat now that I have faces to go with them, especially Edward, who before this past weekend could not confirm he has legs. I do. Here. I don't know that y'all want to see this, but there you go. Yep, wearing shorts. I think I'm entitled 2 days after HeavyCon and having not taken time off. Yes. Who's taller, JT or Edward? Not even close. JT dwarfs me. I'm only 6'2.5". JT is way taller. All right. All right. So a lot of people are asking about the podcast. That's actually a really, really simple question. Or answer. Let me bring up the guild. No, sorry, Slack is where people asked it. So hold on. And the guild as well. But all right, hold on. Let me all right, so here we go. First question. Well, I'll get to things in order, and when I get to that, here we go. Adam asks, first question: do you actually sleep? Sometimes, a little bit. Yep. Junaid, first and least favorite aspect of HeavyCon. Favorite, the people. And seeing how happy everybody was there and how good of a time everybody had. That's my favorite. Least favorite, I mean, I could go all sappy and be like that it ends and packing everything up on Sunday and all that. I'm not going to do that. Least favorite of HeavyCon. Maybe the logistics, the getting ready for it and everything and the no, that's no. Okay. Yes and no. It's organizing the giveaways. Not like putting them up on the tables and doing the vouchers and all that. Not that. It's the leg work, finger work, as it were, on the keyboard and all of that. It's very tedious, and managing to get all of that organized is the hardest part. Just the organization in general, but it's totally worth it. So it's not going anywhere. So totally worth it. Yeah, so totally worth it. So let's see what next. Okay, so a bunch of people have been asking about the hiatus, if you will, or whatever, the break, whatever. What's up with the podcast? It's a real simple question. Podcast hasn't gone anywhere. It's coming back. I am one person. Jess does help out some here and there, and 100%. She is invaluable. But I am one person, and with everything having the compressed timeline with HeavyCon and trying to get out the live streams and doing all that, something had to give. Plain and simple. And, well, the podcast is the thing that I chose that had to be sacrificed during the chaos that was leading up to HeavyCon. I apologize, and I'm sorry, but it's coming back. You guys are promised a bunch of daily diaries, which we have. Those are coming, and then the reviews are coming back. And we have a traveling microphone for it, the whole 9 yards. Simply put, there's only so many hours in a day, and something had to give, and the podcast was the thing that gave temporarily. It's coming back, so I hope that helps. I hope that answers it. And if you want more specifics, then ask, but hopefully that answers that, okay? I hope. So let me know if that answers it to your liking, and if not, then tell me and we can talk about it. Ask me specifically, because the question that was asked here is, I understand it's hard to do with not having a regular co-host. That has nothing to do with it, Angela. It has everything to do with simply a matter of time. And again, it's hard for me to explain the time management without it sounding like woe is me. I'm not asking for that. I am not saying that. I'm not asking for anybody's pity. I'm not saying anything else. But when I stream a game, that entire day is, you know what? Here, this would be a good way to explain it. I wrote this a little while ago to explain this, and I think this sums it up well. And this is by no means, again, take it for face value. Don't read into it. This is an explanation. It's just fact. Some people were complaining about that a couple of games did not get nominated for finalists for the Golden Elephant Award, and that's kind of what spawned this. And I think that this also answers the question regarding the podcast. Okay, so there's zero prerequisite to having a game covered on the podcast or the YouTube channel for a game to be nominated or considered for the Golden Elephant Award. However, it is a question of time. I cannot remember the last time I played a game that was not strictly for a review or a playthrough. That also includes HeavyCon. Every game I played had to do with the show. Either one that we're going to be reviewing or one that we're going to be streaming. So that's a statement of fact as well. Playing a game for any other reason hasn't been feasible in quite a while, so let's break it down. We stream on average 2 to 4 games a week, or 2 to 4 streams a week. That means 2 to 4 games that have to be played. The day of the stream is entirely taken up by prepping the teach, setting up the games, making the intro videos, the whole 9 yards. The other 3 to 5 days in a given week usually have one full-on game day, usually Sundays, but that is subject to change, to be able to play the games in anticipation for the live streams or the reviews. But usually a few folks streaming can't make it. Therefore, the other 2 to 4 days of the week that are not either stream or full game days, we're playing those games when the other players' schedule allows for it. So now we're down to 0 to 2 days per week that I have to also prepare for the podcast, which is a normal full day's work. And at a minimum, that's every other week, if not more. Then there's the question of managing to get folks together to be able to play other games on the remaining days. 95% of folks work during normal day hours. So on those above days, I'm working on emails, patron upkeep, shipping orders, social media, Slack, the guild, eventually patron rewards, teaching notes, working with James to update the website, and address anything else that may come up. For the last couple of months, I've also been knee-deep in organizing HeavyCon, and I've scaled all the con travel way, way back, but I do have to travel for work. I do have to travel for conventions. This also impacts my available time for other games as well. And it's rare, like tomorrow, I say this, but now that I'm so far behind, apparently I've missed emails, I'm probably not going to take tomorrow off. But on the rare occasion, I would like to take a day off. All right? Now, don't get me wrong. Again, I am not complaining. I am simply trying to explain that there are only so many hours in a day. And if I take hours out of a day for something, those hours have to come from something. And it was my choice to choose the podcast. And if you put a gun to my head and asked why I chose the podcast and not the live streams, sure, there are going to be some people that say, oh, you have sponsored. It's not that. It's numbers. The podcast only gets so many downloads. That hasn't changed in over a year. Those have been stagnant for over a year, even with consistency. Whereas YouTube is doing this. So if something is going to have to get sacrificed for something like HeavyCon, then that's probably what it's going to be. And it's a lot more work than preparing for the live streams, believe it or not. Because the reviews, the live streams, require everybody at the table to have played the game once. The podcast, minimum of 4, maybe more. To do a thorough review, to do it, to pay it homage, to do it justice. So it just requires more work and more time. So that's why. So I hope that answers it. Again, I'm not complaining. I'm just simply trying to explain that there's only so much time, guys, and I'm only one person. I eat, breathe, sleep, and bleed heavy cardboard. I don't do much else. On occasion, I'll take a few hours to go play poker, or I'll watch a show on TV, but then I'm back at the show. And watch a show meaning, I don't know, something on Netflix or YouTube or something, but you get the idea. So I apologize. I really am sorry, and I'm going to try and get better at it, but there's only so many hours in a day, guys, so I'm sorry, okay? But it is coming back. So I hope that answers your questions, okay? When do HeavyCon 6 invites go out? Probably this month. Well, next month, June. I'll probably send them out to get it done and out of the way. That'd be awesome. And that way everybody has plenty of time. So there's that. Khan says, one of my highlights at HeavyCon was seeing Jeroen, Richard, Isaac Childress, Siddharth, Scott, I assume that's Scott Peterson, and Eric Brocious, all playing all the units of 1825. So yeah, that was pretty cool. JT says, I'm taller, but Edward has better facial hair. Need to clean it up a little, but thanks. And regular hair. Lawrence, have you considered a teach and play through of Glory to Rome? It's mentioned so much here. It'd be a fun stream. We've done one, Lawrence. It is behind the paywall because it's a Glory to Rome stream, which means it's not edited, which means we cuss a lot potentially in that. We don't self-edit. Let's put it that way. And so it's there. But could we Could we do a regular live stream of Glory to Rome? Yes. That go to the geek list, what Franny linked, and we can probably make that happen. Okay. Access to food was a bit tough at the hotel. That's why Uber Eats, that's why Grubhub and DoorDash, as well as a ton of locals having cars. That helps. Chip says, you promised us swag, but I was blown away by the quality of the swag. Thanks to you and all the supporters. They weren't sponsors. They were just supporters. Sponsors to me, it says money, and they just gave games. So thank you to all of them as well. Yep. Yep, that's me, Mara. Edward the Slacker. First of my name. Andrew, speaking of positive feedback as requested, I really enjoyed the game of the month. Will we see this again? Probably not. The response to that really wasn't that great. We tried it, and the response wasn't so hot. So it doesn't make sense to spend all that time and effort on it for very little in just positive feedback for it. There was beforehand, but during and after it really wasn't. So, nope. Chris, do you have a list of games you'd like to review that need co-hosts? I imagine there's a good amount of willingness to help out in that respect. You know what, Chris? Start a thread. Start a thread in on Slack, and let's make that happen. I'll post the games. How's that? Camille, something HeavyCon Europe. Baby steps, Camille. I think there should be a week after HeavyCon ends that I get grace for that. Okay, just give me a little bit. All right. Dean asks, "What's the story behind the HeavyCon T-shirts?" Well, they're gonna get to you. The company that promised them by a certain date didn't deliver. It's that simple. That's the story. There you go. So there you go. All right. So now let's get back to let's see. In Slack there were a bunch of questions as well. Let's see. So did that answer everybody regarding the podcast? I didn't see much of a response to that, so I just wanted to make sure. And Mara asks, which sources do you use to learn about board game related news as early as possible? The publishers themselves. They tend to let me know ahead of time on a lot of stuff. There are a ton of publishers that don't. And if so, social media, honestly, or BGG, that's probably it. Do you have a vague idea of the percentage of non-American attendees at this HeavyCon? 15%? Roughly, would you guys agree with that? I'd say about 15%, give or take. I think that's a fair idea. What are my thoughts about Escape Plan, and how do you rate it compared to other Lacerta games? It's a little hard to say because I've only played it a couple times, but it's not my favorite. It's not going to be in the top 3 or 4 or 5 maybe. So I mean, higher than that, I would put Vinos. I put Lisboa. I would put Kanban. I would put the Gallerist. I would put On Mars. So it was enjoyable, but it also was amazingly fun to play with our group that we had for the live stream. So there you go. Did I get a chance to play anything new, at least to me, at HeavyCon? If so, did I enjoy it? Now I got to remember what all I played at HeavyCon. I played El Grande because I would like to review that at some point. Didn't play Dominant Species. I am so bummed by that. I didn't play Age of Steam. Play PAX Premier, because we're going to be reviewing that after it comes out. Wow, I am drawing a total blank of things. I apologize. Did I play anything? I enjoyed every game I played. I just can't see. Demour was a lot of fun, and I apologize if that makes people go run to BGG. And the metal version that we played was awesome and impossible to get. The photo shoot game, the Safari photo shoot of Joe Huber's was a lot of fun and was maddening and horrible. And that would be an amazing Glory to Rome stream, because there is no way I would not be cussing everybody at the table constantly for that. And we would be doing it to each other. That would be hysterical, I think. Thomas asked, or Adam, have you tried the Sioux line yet? No. I tried 2 times at HeavyCon and something came up every time. Bummed about that. So no, I haven't tried it yet. Thomas asked about the Food Chain expansion. Food Chain Magnate expansion. What's your favorite modules? Haven't played enough of them to say. No way I could answer that yet. Favorite convention to attend? Well, you didn't say host, so that eliminates HeavyCon, but it'd be HeavyCon. Probably after that, Essen. Or the Gathering of Friends, for 2 different reasons. Essen, I get to see a bunch of people that I don't get to see a whole lot. Plus, let's face it, Essen is vital for the show. And it's Essen. It's just a lot of fun. I enjoy the chaos that place is. On that note, the Gathering of Friends, the reason I enjoyed that so much is I could play games just to play games. That was awesome. That was really fun. Or at least I thought I was. Everything I was playing there just about you'll see on the show. So, but you get the idea. That was a lot of fun. Do I read blogs by publishers such as John Zinzer's or Jamie Stegmaier's? I do not. Why do you or don't you? I don't necessarily really agree with a lot of Jamie's opinions and stances on things. And time. I'm busy doing my own thing. I don't have a whole lot of time to consume a whole lot of other media. On occasion, I do here or there, board game related stuff, but for the most part, I don't. And Shrey, oh boy, which of your top 50 games would you most like to receive an expansion, assuming Food Chain Magnate might already have that selection pre-catch-up? That's a good one. This is brutal. But I would have to see my top 50 list in front of me to be able to answer that. I mean, Age of Steam, more maps, right? I feel like that's a cop-out. That doesn't seem like a fair answer. Wait, no. I know the answer to that. How you like that? I actually know an answer to an on-the-spot question with stuff not right in front of me. Hands down, far and away, the answer. What game, not even top 50, just what game do I want to have expansions for, or an expansion? Far and away, unilaterally, very clear, or at Labora. Make that happen, please. Or at Labora. Enough with the Agricola stuff. Can we get 1, maybe 2 expansions for Or at Labora? That's all I'm asking. That's it, please. I feel strongly about that, as you can imagine. Any chance we can get Joe Huber on an 18XX stream? I think this has been asked before. Yup. And he said yes. He also has an insanely busy travel schedule for work. But my guess is you're going to see Joe Huber twice. You're going to see him on a pre-recorded 1846 live stream with the goal of getting the game played in under 90 minutes. And you're probably also going to see him host with a number of us 2038 at some point. When? I'm not going to commit to anything. That dude's schedule is ridiculous. So when he makes himself available, that's when. And Carmen, I haven't I haven't said that the podcast is going to be number one. I said it's on par with the YouTube channel, but I appreciate you chiming in for that. Says, if you continue to promise the podcast will always be number one and similar, podcast fans will continue to expect it. Budgeting time is crucial. You're right. You're not wrong. And I failed. I am not without that. Not without my mistakes. But I am trying. But thank you for chiming in with that. Let me know if there's anything else. Dean, HeavyCon remains my favorite convention. So many great people, games, and hospitality. Appreciate that, Dean. And yeah, if you have a job where pants are optional, then choices are made. Fair enough. Content Consumer says, with all the 18xx action happening lately, are there any war games coming out that you're particularly looking forward to? Not really a war game. I guess it's a political, but Mr. President or whatever it's being called, that game from GMT, I'm looking forward to. Other war games. Honestly, I want to play more Cataclysm, and I'd like to get Triumph and Tragedy to the table more. So, new, no. But I'm sure there are some that I'm not thinking of. I know somebody here a little bit later mentioned Hitler's Reich. I would like to get that stream, but I have also been terrified of the rulebook as well. I've heard that there is a rewrite of the rulebook out there, but I haven't been able to locate it yet. So if anybody has that, send me that, because I would like to be able to get that streamed as well. Okay, cool. All right. I'm going to try and print Ventslav says, hello from Ukraine. Hello. And yeah, Patrick, I hope that answered the question regarding the podcast. No. All right, Carmen. Says many podcasters have full-time jobs and keep a podcast schedule. Please acknowledge part of the struggle exists because Amanda handled the editing, etc., and worked full-time. That's not part of the problem, because I have an editor for the podcast that I pay to edit the podcast. That's not part of the problem. Part of the problem is those many podcasters also don't have a YouTube channel where they live stream multiple pieces of content every week as well. Look, I'm not making excuses. I said I had to make choices. I made the choice that during HeavyCon prep and getting ready for that, something had to be budgeted out of my schedule. And so that was a conscious decision on my part, because something had to give. It's not making excuses, and it's not that other podcasters don't have X, Y, and Z or have full-time job. I have a I hear you, but I just made the choice, and that's where. So if I made mistakes, I'm sorry. Okay, I really am, but I'm doing the best I can, and if that's not good enough, then I'm sorry, but I can't clone me. I can't work 28 hours in a 24-hour day. I am doing the best I can. And if people aren't happy with it, I'm sorry, but I am doing the very best that I can. So I'm sorry. And I'm trying to get better. And if that's not good enough, then I'm not going to be good enough for you. So I'm sorry. I don't know what else to tell you, man. I mean, sorry I'm failing you. All right. Apparently, Hitler's Reich rulebook rewrite is in the files section on BGG. Cool. And it's a little better. GMT is getting Chad Jensen do an official rewrite. Maybe I wait for that then, if that's the case. All right. Cool. There we go. So I'm caught up. Is there anything else? See if there's anything there. Yeah, I'm caught up. Let me check the guild because I know people were complaining about the podcast there as well. So hopefully that answered it. But that's it. There we go. It's a record time, 1 hour and 15 minutes. So, all right. So thanks, everybody. Yeah. So there you go. War of the Ring playthrough. True Prodigy. I have it. I would like to play it. I've never played it. I would love to. But let me ask you, True Prodigy, would that be one that we could do with the top-down cameras before we get our PTZ camera? I think we could. If so, then yeah, that's something. But at the same time, isn't that a massive board? And if so, then it might be better to wait until that, which may or may not happen. It's based on that. And from what I'm hearing today, maybe that doesn't happen. I don't know. We'll see. So that's it. That's all I got today. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys are willing to give a little bit of grace and understand that I'm doing the best I can. And I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of your day and looking forward to bringing the podcast back as soon as possible. And I'll see you guys on Thursday for the live stream of Time of Crisis. All right? Take care, y'all.